Good morning, guys, and welcome back to this episode of Whip Wednesday with the Crafty Nomad. I normally don't do Whip Wednesday. I was doing the rap sessions, but that's a whole nother story. But today, I just felt like jumping on and talking to you about the things that I am working on this week. Now, I do have 2 finishes, but I will share those and whatever else is finished on the regular episode of the Crafty Nomad podcast. Today, I want to show you what I'm currently working on. And if you follow me on the Facebook group, you have already seen that I have started yet another rag doll, and I have plans for at least one more before the craft fair, just because I want to have a variety of things. I think I'm going to make just one more and then keep working on some of the other things I have planned. So I'm making things that I'm drawn to make for the craft fair, but also that are not super complicated. Like, for instance, the Zumigurumi books, they are beautiful. I love them all, but they have so many parts to them. They take up a lot of time, and I really want things that I can get done and in a short amount of time for the craft fair, but also that I love. So those are the types of things I'm picking. And so, of course, you guys know I have loved this book. I have enjoyed making every one of the things I've made so far. And now I am on to the elephant. Okay, I'm very excited to get this one done in the type of cotton that they're using, which is a 3-weight, a DK weight. It is 13.4 inches long. I'm using worsted, so mine will be bigger. And I just have to say, I love how these rag dolls are constructed. Each one of them, so far, we start with the head and then we do the body. The body is very similar. So this one started with 2 ears, and you can see mine is going to be fairly big. It started with 2 ears that you eventually join, and let's see if you can see on the back. I love this yarn. Now, I will have to mark this one because I'm using, I'm using for this new yarn from Loops and Threads called, and it says it's for a limited time only, it's Natural Marl. You get 278 yards, 278.8 yards of yarn in this 5.3 ounce ball. It's a 150 gram ball. Now, the reason why I have to mark it is because the colorway is Winter Blues. And you have to mark it because it's 69% polyester, 22% acrylic, and 9% wool. And some people have wool allergies, so I will put something on this one to say it does have a little bit of wool content. So, but anyway, it's $7.99. I did get it over the weekend when everything was 30% off at Michael's. So that means I got I got $2.40 off of it. So what did I pay? I paid $5.59 for that. And you can see that there's blues and there's a part where it goes black. And I really like how it's working out. And I thought it was a good substitute for the yarn that they used because of those pops of white. And I really like the construction and how you put these together. I have already done the first decrease, and I will be finishing working on that. So this book is called Crochet Rag Dolls, and it's by Sasha Blaze Van Wagtendonk. Wagtendonk. All right, I'm keeping it. This is probably one of the first project bags I ever bought. And it's probably the one that made me realize I could probably make them because it's really not lined. It's, just a couple of pieces of fabric put together with a little bit of a box bottom. And yeah, so I'm keeping that in there. And then I pulled out this book because I have made a couple of things from here that were pretty straightforward. And I thought maybe there's something in here I can also make and enjoy and bring that to the fair. And I decided to give this doll a try, the Cynthia doll. Now, it is very simple. There are a few steps to it, but the head and the body are all made together. And then you make the appendages and you make the hair, and there's a little collar that she wears. But basically, there's 1, 2, 3 steps that are really all one. You know, it's the head, the body, and the dress, and then the skirt. So then you make 2 arms. So I would say that's the next step. Then you make 2 legs, you make the hair, you make the buns. I mean, you know, it's a little bit complicated, but she's working up pretty fast. So let me show you what I have so far. I'm using some of the yarns already. I really want to use up my yarn, but I don't want to have a whole bunch of the same color stuff. So this will probably be the last thing I make in this yarn, but I did use, I think this is Premier Basic Stitch or Lion Brand Basic Stitch. I forgot the colorway for her skin tone, and you see you make a little pooch for her nose. And then I use the same yarn I use for the princess doll. For this is the Hirschner's Worsted 8 Heathers, and then this is the Loops and Threads Rich Orchid that I used on the hippo. So like I said, this will be probably the only other thing I'll make in that color, I think. Depends, because I really want to use up that ball of yarn. This Hirschner's Worsted 8 ball of yarn is like almost 500 yards. It's like 479 or 489. It's taking forever to use that thing up. So that's her. And then I have made the 2 arms. So that's where she's at. So I'm trying to work on like a couple of things concurrently. I got Jordan was out of school yesterday or Monday, so I was off. So I worked on her mostly on Monday, and then I did a couple of other things that I got to finish. So I got a little bit ahead of the game because of that day off, and I have another day off next week because he's out of school again. They get the Jewish holidays. They don't call it the Jewish holidays, but they do admin days or some whatever. They choose them because there's so many kids that, you know, are Jewish and, you know, will be celebrating those holidays with their families. So I think Monday was either one of them is Yom Kippur and one of them is Rosh Hashanah, and I can't remember which is which, but he was off this past Monday and he has a day off next week as well. So I'll have another day to crochet all day. So yeah, this book these are pretty straightforward projects. I have made, as you probably know, I made the bear already once, and I might make another one of him for the craft fair. And then I made the giraffe. Okay, and this one is called Cutest Crochet Creations by Allison North. And this was, when I got this one, it was like $6.99 or something like that. A pretty good value. And I have used it and I enjoy it. Okay, so those are the projects I wanted to share with you. Again, I'll be showing you some more things when we when we get together on Sunday. All right, so here's a book I got that I meant to share in a regular episode of the podcast, but I wanted to share it with you here now. I own this book somewhere. I have had this book for years, and I cannot find it, and I really wanted to find it. I made a couple of things out of here that I want to kind of remake, and then I wanted to try and make a couple of other things in here that I haven't had the opportunity to make yet, but I cannot find this book. So I was on Thrift Books, and I was getting books regarding glycemic load, so I'm trying to fix my diet so that I can help control my diabetes that I have been diagnosed with. I don't want to claim it, so I'm not going to call it mine. But I am trying to do my own research and trying to pull together menus. And really, I did years ago when I was like in my 30s, or actually probably in my 20s. I did like a glycemic based kind of a diet, and I was on top of looking at the glycemic index of all the foods I was eating, and it was definitely helpful. So I was on there buying some books, and I decided to look at the crochet books, and this one popped up. They only had one. This one is in really good shape. It is from Red Heart, Adorable Amigurumi, 20 Cute and Cuddly Crochet Buddies. And this book is in real good shape. Like, I don't see any markings or anything on it. And let's see, what's the copyright on it? I had this for so many years. 2013. And I have made 3 different things out of here now that I look at it. So let me get to what I made. I have made this octo twice. One I still have, one I sold. I made him. I also made this clownfish, which is another one that I sold. I had a co-worker who used to like to give her niece books and a stuffed animal. So she had bought rainbow fish, and she bought that clownfish from me. And give you an idea how big it turns out. And then I just realized that I also made this ice cream cone, which I believe I sold because I don't have that one anymore. So yeah, I really could not find this book. I really want to make the octo again. I would love to actually have him at the craft fair, but he's a little bit, I mean, he's straightforward, and my skills are definitely increased since I made him. So maybe I could pull him off. We'll see. Maybe we might start him just to see if we can get it done. But I want to make these little birds of a feather. It's just a few things in here I want to make. So I was happy that I found this on Thrift Books and in such great shape, because the diet books, not so much. Like, there's schmutz on the front of it and on one of the books, but this one is great. All right, I think that's going to be it. That's going to be all for this episode of this little Whip Wednesday. I just wanted to pop in and talk to you guys for a second. Yeah, that's it. That's all. And yep. Hold on. I'm going to show you one more whip I've worked on. Good morning, guys. So this is another whip, quote unquote, that I worked on just this morning. This was a pile of tangled mess, and the yarn that I wanted was this one. And I didn't know how much of it I had left, but I was hoping to make a specific project with it, but it's not enough for that project, so we'll have to think of something else. But anyway, this was all tangled together, and I basically spent all my crochet time this morning on untangling this madness. So I'm happy to have it untangled. Give me your best tips on how to keep it untangled, how to store it. Comment down below. All right. Yep. So I think that's going to be it for this Whip Wednesday. I mean, I normally call them wrap sessions, but you know, I have not picked up an old whip to wrap up, but I have shown you today some of my things I'm working on for the craft fair. So anyway, with that, I'll sign off. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.